Hello, Megan and Cole and Miles, Eva and Macy. How's everybody doing? I know this is not the most personable way to do this. I'd rather sit down and see you guys face to face and talk. But once I get through a little bit of the video, you realize why I'm making it. I don't know if you guys know, but I started a new career. I'm actually selling supplemental insurance now. I'm pretty passionate about this career. I'm very passionate about this career because when Coulter was born, if I would have had a policy like this, I would have been paid $48,000 for time spent in the NICU, and that would have been a very big difference for me. I would have lightened that hit a little bit. Nothing ever takes the pain out of something that like cancer or accidents, but honestly, being a part of something like this really does help. So with that being said, I'm just gonna go ahead and dive right into it. This is gonna be the one time I bring this up to you guys. I'm not gonna bring it up at Christmas or Thanksgiving because we barely get to see each other as it is, and I don't want to spend our time worrying about this type of stuff. So if this makes sense to you, fantastic. Hit me up. I'll give you a more in-depth presentation. We'll do like a video call, like a Skype or something like that. If it doesn't make sense, totally just don't worry about it. Don't worry about it at all. You guys are helping me just by listening to this video, which I'll know how long you watched the video for, by the way. All right, so let's just drive right into this. This is backwards because I'm shooting it on my cell phone. Fantastic. I was doing this on my webcam and everything was going smoothly, but then it was only recording for 45 seconds, so I had to stop. I guess you just have to take my word for what this thing says. So I'll get right into it. Cancer, everybody knows somebody affected by cancer. Heart attack and stroke, that tends to run in folks' families. And accidents can happen to anybody. I would ask you about people that you may know who've been in an accident or something like that, or which one bothers you, but we're not in person, so this is going to be a little different. I'm just going to go into accident. Like I said, I have heart attack and stroke and cancer, and then an ICU rider that goes along with whatever you want to attach it to if you want to attach it. I'm just going to cover accidents in this presentation, and if it intrigues your interest, I'll give you the rest of it. So, the National Safety Council says that accidents are the leading cause of death between Americans ages 1 to 44. This year, there's going to be 15 accidental deaths and over 4,000 disabling injuries every hour. And I really like to point out to people that 9 out of 10 accidents occur off the job, so they're not covered by workman's comp. This page, again, flip the backwards, not really going to do you any good. But this page, when I show this page to people, the rest just kind of makes sense. There are two types of costs associated with anything serious health-wise. The first is going to be your direct cost. That's the third that everybody thinks about, like your doctor bills, your hospital bills, and your medical charges. I have nothing to do with that. That's what your health insurance is for. What we help folks out with are those indirect costs or hidden fees. I would ask what comes to mind when I say indirect costs, but we're not together, so let's just hope you said some. Here are a few examples. Again, hard to read, but it's loss of income, because if you're not working, you're not earning. That's potentially a bad thing, right? For most people it is. Living expenses, because the mailman keeps bringing the bills even when we're laid off. Insurance limitations. Everyone has insurance limitations. We're talking about co-pays, deductibles, medication costs, all of that. And then out-of-pocket expenses, because we still have childcare, lodging, and travel expenses. When do you guys think that most people think about these costs? If you said when it happens, you're right. And there's several ways that people try to meet these costs. They drain their savings, they sell their assets, but the best way is supplemental coverage. That's why we developed our InjureCare Plus, which pays benefits directly to you. You know, your hospital or your health insurance pays the hospitals and the doctors so that they can stay in business, but we pay you so you and your family stay in business. We also pay in addition to any other insurance that you may already have. So if you have Aflac, I don't want to be a scapegoat here because we work right alongside of them. And then we also provide coverage for your whole family. So as a parent, I'm sure you already know how many accidents you've had. You have 3 kiddos. you're in the statistic that like you're bound something's gonna happen, which is another reason why I'm getting to you guys. I don't know if I told you, but common theme every week that I hear about is agents that miss protecting their family for whatever reason. A lot of people are shy. It is hard. It's a lot harder to talk to people you know and your loved ones than it is to talk to strangers. I have a sales pitch, so the strangers, it's really easy. For family, it's not as easy. And so some people are intimidated and they just don't get to their coverage. They just don't get to that family member. And then that family member, something happens to. And I do not want that to happen to you guys. So that's why I'm making this informal video like this. That's actually the long part of what I do here. The policy itself is just one page. You guys might like it, you might not like it. My job is not to sell you on it, just to show you how these benefits work. If it makes sense for you, great. We'll set up a time to talk more about it. If it's nothing at all that you're interested in, you don't need this, totally great. I'm really easy to get rid of. So I'm just going to jump right into it. So when I'm talking about tiers, all of our coverages cover the exact same thing. It's just the benefits double each tier that you go up. I'm going to give you guys the highest tier, which is our elite coverage. That's what most people just generally get, and it's our most expensive. So everything that I say can be where it's at and lower. So diving right into it. Emergency room benefit. This is not just for ER trips. This is for any medical clinic that you go to due to an injury. So your hospital, your doctor, your care provider, chiropractor if he's PT certified, which most of them are. We're going to pay you $400 per visit. Then we're going to pay you $400 for a significant scan. So like for an MRI, EKG, EEG, mammogram, ultrasound, those type of things, we're going to pay $400 for. We're going to pay $800 per night that you're in the hospital. So for example, if you're in the hospital for 10 days, we're going to pay you $8,000. God forbid something serious happens and you're in the hospital for 100 days, the benefit paid directly to you would be $80,000. It's important to know there's no lifetime limits on these policies, so there's no amount of money that you can get. There's no max amount. We have an ambulance benefit, which will pay you $1,200 for ground transport, $24 for air transport. Fracture benefit, and I'd love to go over this. If you were to fracture your arm, or your thigh, we would pay you $10,000. But if you fractured your ankle or your wrist, the payout would be $2,800. And the idea here is that the more serious the accident, the larger the payout is to you. And that money is for you to use any way that you see fit. We have a dislocation benefit, a surgery benefit, which will pay you $1,600 upon surgery, a physical therapy benefit for each day that you're in the or each day that you're covered or using PT. A dismemberment benefit, which is pretty important. You wouldn't believe how often I come across this one. That pays $20,000 to $40,000, depending on if there's a single or a multiple dismemberment. So if you lost a finger, it'd be $20,000. If you lost 2 fingers, it'd be $40,000. It's an easy way to think about it. Coma, we're going to pay you $4,000 for loss of consciousness of over 24 hours. An accidental death. Most people have life insurance policies. This is just an additional $40,000 on top of that. Family lodging benefit, because if something happens to you, you're probably going to want to go get the best coverage and the best treatment. So we're going to pay your family $200 per night to get a hotel to stay with you. The important part is this is kind of a bonus deal. Never want this to happen to anybody, but it is a nice peace of mind. If you and Cole both passed away, we would pay for your children to go to school. We give them $20,000. So for Miles, he would be paid $20,000 to his school tuition. This is just a nice little benefit, just an additional breather. So that's my policy. Let's go through. You heard the cancer, the accident, the heart attack, the stroke. All right, so our program makes sense even if you don't need it. I hope that all of my clients buy this and never once ever call me. They go through life without accidents, cancer, and sickness, and they just have a very healthy, prolonged life. In the event that happens at the end of 25 years, I'm going to give them every penny that they gave me back. But let's be realistic. In 25 years, something probably will happen, and you will probably have a claim. Let's hope that's a small claim. And so let's say that over 25 years, you give me $20,000 to cover your entire family. Well, out of that $20,000, Eva fell down and broke her arm, and we paid her $5,000. And no other accidents happened to the family. At the end of 25 years, I'm going to bring you a check for the difference minus the $5,000 claim that we paid out. So if you paid me a total of $20,000, I will now give you $15,000 plus that claim that you had received earlier in the policy's life. Something really serious happened and we gave you a check for $65,000 or $75,000, or like we did Jim over in Yankton. We gave him $171,000. We paid him. We're obviously not going to return the premiums in that case, but we were there when you needed it the most. So, most people think that with over 30 different benefits and no lifetime limits on a policy like this, that it costs something similar to what other health insurance costs. But for you guys, again, I know your age, so families get protected by the youngest spouse. So I don't know how old Cole is, but I do know how old Megan is, so I'm just going to give Megan the age. Megan, for you, for just accident, because that's what we talked about, if you wanted the elite program, and so attached to this video will be a pamphlet of our payout, so you can see the different tiers. So for the elite, which is the highest paid tier, you would pay for the entire family to have coverage, would be $111.60 a month. For preferred, so that's going to be the third tier, you're going to pay $58.80 a month. And if you want to cover the entire family, just to have standard coverage, just for that peace of mind, the entire family can be covered for $32.40 for accident coverage. Now, if cancer, heart attack, stroke, the whole kit and caboodle, you want to be just peace of mind, safe and sound through all of it. For elite coverage on all 4 of my products for your entire family would be $309 a month. For preferred would be $165 a month. And for standard coverage, for flat out just coverage on all across the board for everybody, would be $93 a month. That's not bad, is it? Most people pay more for their cell phone or their cable bill than they do for their entire family to have coverage. It honestly, for some people get it, some people don't. Just the way it works. So, like I said, if this interests you, you want to hear more about it, you have any questions, just go ahead and respond back to me. We're in our presidential performance week, so I don't have Facebook anymore. I have no distractions. I had to delete them all so I could have a big week. And so the best way to get a hold of me is either through Nikki's Facebook or just go ahead and respond back to my email, and then I'll give you guys a call. I look forward to hearing from you, and if I don't hear from you, I will see you at the next holiday. All right, everybody, take care.